journalists quite a bit, and I mean, we kind of have to. Things are off the rails, and over the next year and a half or so, we're going to see some of the nuttiest fake news and some of the most divisive social issues I bet you this country has seen in a century. It's going to get nuts, you know. A lot of the, even what I considered extreme tactics haven't not worked against Trump, for instance, so they're just going to keep upping the ante. But I just want to, let everybody know what the message is. I mean, if you've seen me, I'm pretty open. I'm a independent. I support libertarians. It is what it is. It's a kind of a lost cause, and I know it. But you know, um, what can you say? The only time I really want to go and support a Republican is if there's monstrous people like the Clintons trying to get back in power. But let me tell you, if it was Jeb Bush instead of Trump, I probably wouldn't have bothered. If you should check out my latest post. I really want to talk about that. Mostly, it's how we always talk about we fight these wars for oil, you know, and it almost seems like that's true and it isn't true. I went and did some research because I was thinking, didn't I hear that Obama had stock in Brazilian oil companies? And it turns out, most of this was just stuff, from people like Glenn Beck, and they sort of exaggerated things. It turned out that he had all his top stocks in Fortune 500 companies, just like every American president should. Really nothing untowards there at all. But what the real deal is, and what the problem is all of his friends had company money in Petrobras, and George Soros had almost 30 million shares in the company. So if you look at the stock prices, you look at the manipulation on the oil prices, I can see something else going on here. I see the New World families like the Bushes and the Prescotts, who basically are putting themselves up like old world oligarchs themselves, battling with the interests in, Eastern Europe, Western Asia. Just like George Soros is the number one guy that comes to mind when it comes to that. It truly is, because dude's got his hands in a lot of operations, fingers in pies, they say. This guy's no good. He just doesn't. Lately he's been shifting his own politics a little bit, which is strange. Like he's not pushing globalism, at least on the surface. Maybe it's just a ruse, but we'll have to look into that because like I said, if you want to look into the look back, so basically you promise a couple $1 billion in tax funds, the stock goes up, people like George Soros sell out, and then the market crashes the next day. It reminds me of the tricks you used to hear, like, when the Duke of Wellington won against Napoleon, and a messenger got to the London Stock Exchange before anyone else, spread misinformation, and tanked the market just so the next day when the real news came, after the fake news had gotten around, the real news came is, no, actually England won that battle. Napoleon did lose. So they spread this bullshit around. And people like me get screwed, basically. Like all of the wealth, even the little bits that we squirrel away, trying to actually get out of poverty, trying to lift ourselves into another caste, gets completely eradicated when these people do this. That's the thing. They bring the value down till it's nothing. Guys like me get wiped out, and then they raise it back up again through their own political bullshit and shenanigans. What I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, you would think that Obama, considering he isn't on the team, he's not on the team with the Prescott Bushes. He's against American drilling, all this other stuff. So why is he allowing it to go on everywhere else, and why is American taxpayers paying for it? The deal was supposedly that we'd sell some goods in Brazil, but I don't think any of that really materialized. And there's such a mess down there that we're sending aid to countries like Venezuela. So it's not just, again, too, I'm not saying I personally lost any money. This isn't a grievance video. I'm just saying there are people out there I sympathize with who thought these were safe investments because the government was propping them up. I mean, this isn't just the oil industry either. Don't talk, about just one source. I mean, Solyndra was another example of everybody just wiping out others' fortunes. It sucks. It's gotta end if we're ever gonna actually fix things. I mean, it's killing the American dream. So I can only imagine I mean, I guess that's the difference, and it's not supposed to happen around here, but I guess it is. But it's not, like I said, it's not just a couple guys losing a few bucks that bothers me. It's entire nations like Venezuela who nationalize their oil industry, and we're counting on a steady price, about $100 a barrel, $150 a barrel. It's been up there. So they carve out millions of social programs. You know, they have all this welfare system built on oil prices sustaining themselves. And then a guy like Trump comes in and starts producing tons of it, you know. Then that's what I'm saying. Like, Obama, maybe he didn't have stock in it, but he sure as hell protected oil prices. I mean, none of this stuff. Like when you hear people talk about the moral thing to do, you know it's wrong. It's bullshit. Like that should be a red flag at this point. When you have politicians saying it's the right thing to do to support this, or it's the right thing to do to buy oil from somebody. What are you talking about? No, it's a deal. It's either a good business deal or it isn't. Morals shouldn't have much to do with it in a capitalist nation. I'm getting confused by the rhetoric because, you know, it's so bad. Actually, I mean, it's that bad. It's like dumbfounding. What the hell is he even getting at this point? Trying to say, you know, we're fighting. We're gonna instigate a civil war in Venezuela. That's the moral thing to do. It's like maybe we could talk to them about changing the government. You know, without anybody getting lit on fire. That might be more moral, but maybe it'll take more time. I don't know. So if you're in a rush, I suppose politicians are your bread and butter. But me, I have the patience to go, okay, well, you guys need to fix things. I mean, you know, I would send economists down there rather than soldiers. But hey, whatever. You know, maybe that's not working. But what I'm trying to say is, though, it's like at the end of the day, you know, both sides will say morality. Like they'll say we have to, like Bush will say we have to go to Iraq. You know, even Bush Senior, we have to liberate Kuwait. We have to. They're a poor little nation state, and they don't want to be a vassal of Saddam Hussein. We have to. There are partners in the oil business. It's like, okay, so they're your business partners. It's not me being moral when I go and fight in Iraq. It has nothing to do with America either. This is a business, you know. And this is what I mean about, you know, general politics, why I'm never going to be a socialist. Because, like, look what happens when businesses and governments work hand in hand. People starve. People get blown up. It's just bad, guys. Like, socialism has such a bad track record. People end up dying all the time, guys. You know, and I just want to say it's not, you know, it's not us fighting for, against socialism down in South America right now. I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's the deep state who probably, like, you know, met with the, you know what I'm saying? This is the oil oligarchs from outside the U.S., you know, the people that aren't our trading partners, like we have under sanctions. There's plenty of countries out there. They are a different you know, we don't have control over the entire planet. Maybe some people think America does, but we really don't. So those foreign competing interests were the ones that put Obama up. So he didn't, you know, stop this war. None of this stuff. All the Bush appointees are still there. You know what I mean? All the deep state actors that can't get fired. We didn't vote them in. We can't vote them out. We're just stuck with these people. They're the ones that are doing this down in Venezuela. They're the ones that are, you know, and it's sad to see a commander-in-chief like Trump who maybe wants to not blow people up on a regular basis, but doesn't have control over his own armies. He doesn't have control over his own operation. What does that say about things? You know, it's a tough one, guys, but you know, it will get better. I can tell you that because, you know, to me, at least Trump isn't part of this game. You know, if Jeb Bush had got elected, man, it would have been, you know, just the same thing that was going on. Our gas would probably be $6 a gallon or some ridiculous thing. We wouldn't have half the industry in America. We'd be exporting all our jobs. I mean, it would have been the same thing. So we have a slightly different thing going on. Maybe we can keep it up. I don't know. Maybe the next guy will actually. Maybe Trump will get some deep state stuff done. I mean, he has to contend with the stupid Mueller investigation. It's been over 2 years, I think, and I mean, he's been investigated for about 3 now. I mean, they've been doing nothing. You know, so they've been doing nothing but roadblocks. That's a sketchy thing for many reasons. Are they buying themselves time to start new wars in Venezuela? Are they buying themselves time just because they don't want to look for another job? You know what I mean? Are they legitly gonna try to throw some weird coup like McCabe was talking about? You know, these people are nuts. I don't know, man. So goes to show you, though. I mean, every time the team changes, basically, like when the American interests were running the oil industry, it started skyrocketing. As soon as the foreigners like George Soros started muscling in on the gang's territory, the price went to the toilet. Started coming right back up when things started getting met in the middle because of Obama's policies. You know, he artificially jacked the price of oil. Didn't let us produce our own. You know, that's a kind of a big deal. So, he was putting money in his buddy's pockets. So that money got back to the Democratic Party. You see how it goes. It's like, it really feels more like mafia stuff than a civics conversation. This looks like a racketeering job to me. This is what the FBI is supposed to be doing, but no, they're chasing pee-pee tapes. They're chasing around Roger Stone. What the fuck? Good luck. He's Roger Stone. We all know. So it's going to be a mess. But I just wanted to get in on some of the articles. I hope people understand, it isn't fun all the time being a libertarian, because Democrats think you're a Republican, and Republicans definitely think you're a Democrat. Well, there is another option, I'm telling you. So you can definitely look into all this stuff, man. If you are on Steam, I'm trying to get a thread started about this. So, hit me up with any posts. Link them into the comment section. I'll try to Steam them, get them out there, man. Because, yeah, we could write, I think 6 people could write full-length novels on this entire mafia-style bullshit. And, yeah, we could still have material left over because there's so many things going on there. Generations of bullshit. Prescott Bush trying to overthrow the fucking government. You got to look into this stuff. It's crazy. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. And yeah, next time a politician's trying to bother you, let them know they're full of shit. This isn't about right and wrong. This is about their buddies getting paid. That's always what it's all about, guys. But hey, enjoy the week. We'll be around. I'll see you probably tomorrow night here if you want to check out the live stream. Be here with making stuff. So hope to see you there. Have a good one.